Hey, what's going on, everybody? Going to be taking a look at Ethereum, Doge, and XRP today. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. All right, so taking a look at ETH and ignore all these crazy lines over here for a moment. We're going to take a look at the high time frame targets for the upside, right? So, and this would be over time, barring some small pullbacks along the way, and we'll kind of dive into what areas we're, looking for potential, some short-term shorts, looking for shorts in general, or even just the next entry, right? So either way, from the entries from lower, next major target for me is going to be this gold pocket, and that's from the 2022 high down to the low. Comes in right about $2,600. Brings us into this old range over here, right? So this is from last year as well. And we've got the point of control comes right into that region also. So just a little bit more of confluence. Don't think that's the overall target overall. I think in the next coming weeks to months, we're looking at probably that $3,200 overall gold pocket region from the high, all-time high down to the low there, which I'll just go ahead and highlight it for instance, right? So which is like 33 to 34. And then we have a yearly untapped level just above that. So this area right here would be my overall target zone for this overall rally before a substantial pullback and probably some more ranging for a bit. So that would probably take place over the next few, weeks, potentially a couple more months, maybe like into Q1. We'll see how it goes. But either way, this is the next, region that I'm looking for. Maybe we push up into that $2,600 region, Bitcoin's at like 45, 46, 47, get a little pullback around those areas, something like 10, 15%, put us back in these levels now. So that's what I'm looking for as far as the higher time frame goes. Hasn't changed in that region there. As far as the low time frame now, so as you know in the group, if you're in there, right, I post daily ranges, weekly ranges, things that we can kind of work off of in the short term here. We've got, weekly pivots, daily pivots, previous averages that the price action is likely to return to. And let's go ahead and show you what we were looking at yesterday. So yesterday, I'll go ahead and cut this to some degree, right? So here was our range that I put out yesterday, right? So we had our, range high here. We had the overall high. We had our low. And I believe right at that weekly low, or I'm sorry, right at that low was the weekly open, if I'm not mistaken. And it is. So our weekly open and our Monday low, this was a key region right here. I noted that if we did lose that, I'd be looking down and ideally want to come down and take this weekly pivot. So this is the average price for this week, high statistical target. We come to it at some point in this week. Doesn't have to hit, obviously, but that would be the ideal thing to look for, right? Come down, take out all these stops. And then just once again, just an average of price mean reversion, right? So locally, right, what do we have here? We had our overall high to the low, comes right into the gold pocket, right into the value area high as well. And then from there, we ended up coming down into the weekly open, into that Monday low, which yesterday was just the low previous day, right? So right here, right, boom, boom. Got the claim back of the previous day low, comes back in, gets into the range. At this point, we were going to at least rotate the range here. Once we took the low, it was likely we were going to come and at least take the high. So that's exactly what we did as well over, course of a few hours there. Comes up, takes previous day high, and then we did come through and actually make a new high for yesterday. So that leads us into today. What can we look for, right? So posted some updates in the group this morning. Essentially, just like yesterday, right? You want to look for these, everybody's going to call it a liquidity grab or a fake out, right? But you come down and you take yesterday's low. So everybody that's entered positions yesterday, right, for a whole day, where are they going to have their stop loss? Well, they had it, generally down below this region or below the recent low there. So you come down, you take everybody out from that point. Everybody re-enters their position because they're, FOMOing in, make sure they don't miss the move. You come up, you stop at anybody that's putting in shorts, right? So it's just a never-ending game of taking out the highs and the lows, right? Is what we want to look for the short-term interim day trades. Today we had, pretty simple example of that as well. Our range for the day, right? And essentially we came in, we started our day right here, right? VWAP reset. So this is the beginning of today. It is Wednesday. This was technically last night in Eastern time, 7 p.m. What did we do? You come up, right? Boom, take that previous day high, likely now to come down to this previous day low. However, you don't want to overlook some targets here, especially in an uptrend that's this strong. So this is just a short-term, setup to where you're looking to potentially either look to new areas to enter or just taking a trade for today. This is something I wouldn't hold into, the next couple of days here and would really manage this along the way. But this was a really nice setup, right? Comes up, took the high, daily opens, lost, back tested. Now you're back in the range, right? You're losing your VWAP. And we had a Dalton setup, right? So it's where we opened the day outside of yesterday's range. So if we get back in that range, close to 30-minute candles, likely that we're going to rotate to the downside, higher probability that we're going to at least come to the point of control, which is our volume target as normal anyways. So at the moment, we've got a daily naked point of control from yesterday. We have re-entered the range. We've come down. We got a nice little bounce off of the local gold pocket from low to high, right? And I'm looking personally, I think we'll, see a push back up into this region. Obviously, it's not too far away from where we are now. You got the VWAP here. You've got the, previous day value area high. If we look back, our Monday range now is something that we can use throughout the week, right, to kind of bounce some more confluence off of. And that value area high is also the Monday high, right? So good bit of area right here. Wouldn't be surprised to see, a little bit of push through, maybe just kind of up a little bit into this local gold pocket here. So really it's the day open right now that if we claim the day open, we'd want to look to see if we get higher, right? Then you got the previous day high. Day open is definitely the line in the sand at the moment. You can start looking at that here, I suppose, right? As you claim value area high, that'd be the Monday high. It would also be your VWAP. Daily opens more conservative region to look to claim for some more upside. Otherwise, I think that the move for today is going to continue down towards at least back to 2208 into the previous day low at 2184. And then ideally, once again, don't know if we'll get it, can't marry it. But, definitely we'll be looking out to see if we lose that previous day low and come down into these areas here. So I'm still looking for that weekly pivot. And once again, this is more so, wouldn't hold a short all the way down here without taking any profits, right? So it's this one right here is definitely where you want to be looking to for a TP, 2209 if you're getting in or if you've been in around these areas. Stop loss basically either above the high, above day open, depending on how you want to do it. But once again, up to you. But yeah, and these are just, we still have the chance of just rocketing out of here to that $2,600. So just be aware of that. And the thing I like to point out really heavily with ETH specifically is you got to be a little aggressive on if you're going to be shorting right now. Really anything short term, you got to just be, don't get too greedy, because in a world where Bitcoin has just pushed, let's just see an equivalent just from the beginning of this month, right? December only. You've seen Bitcoin up 18%. ETH is up in that same time frame. Might be the same, actually. All right, give or take, it's about up the same. But ETH is still like really lagging in the sense of, compared to Bitcoin's move up. So I do, I think we're going to get a pretty decent push up at some point. Maybe it's from one of these levels and we just shoot straight up, right? Kind of short squeezing, something of that nature. But either way, targets above 2,600. Things below us at the moment, right, is short-term day trade for, and I say day trade, but just short-term levels to be aware of at the moment. Weekly pivot is a good one. Once again, comes back down, essentially knocks out all of these shorts. I'm sorry, all these stop losses. And when we're looking at our last week's range here, right, just be aware that there's a little bit of confluence down here at this daily naked point of control too. So short-term stuff, nice tradable areas in this interim. Lose that previous day low has come in this region right here, right? What's that do? That puts us back in, the region of last week's range, right? We'd be back in previous week high, lose that daily naked point of control. Definitely looking for the pivot, and then potentially, right here. And when I bring up these areas here is because on the journey to continue up to that $2,600, if you're looking for an entry that's less risk, right? So it depends on how you're going to deal with this, because if you're entering now, you definitely run a risk of, eating all these pullbacks short term, right? Being underwater. And this could potentially be like 7% to 10, which isn't, extreme in the world of crypto, but that's a really big, drawdown to kind of like stomach for a bit. So while I don't know if we're going to make it all the way down to this area quite yet, like I said, just kind of taking it level by level. Weekly pivot, it's definitely a region would make sense. It wouldn't be a crazy pullback overall, right? 6-7% from where we are currently, 5.5%. We pretty much just saw, that kind of a move up yesterday. So to see a move down like that wouldn't be too much. And then on top of that, like I said, it is our statistical target for the week. It's Wednesday now, so we got a couple more days left. So just something to be aware of here, right? So like I said, I hope that makes sense. Short term, we've got some tradable areas here. Would be aggressive in the sense of, don't just enter a short up in this region and only look to, TP along these higher term, not even higher term, but these lower levels at the moment, because as you've seen, we're just consistently, making higher lows here. So these would be definitely areas to take profit on in the short term, but more so to me, I'm pointing these out. I'm looking to these more so as potential entries, to try to get that ride up if you're looking for a new long. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for here on ETH. They just want to touch on Doge and XRP, and the reason I do that is because those two are two highly community-based projects, and I always call them market exciters, because when they start moving, everybody starts paying attention, right? Doge for the yearly target has just been front running. Do we come up and tag it potentially now is the question. We had a really nice range to work off of here. We're just chopping people out right along the way. And then we've got that really nice expansion to the upside, similar to Bitcoin. 11 cents has been my target for quite a while. Wouldn't be surprised to see it actually push even through to like 12 to 13. But those would be two big take profits for me in the short term. And then I reevaluate. That's just what I'm doing. And then XRP, I bring it up because it's almost a joke at this point. But it's like when we get that XRP rally or pump, it's usually like the mark of the beast, right? And the overall market tends to be done around that point. So obviously that's not always the case, but yeah, we've had a really nice range here, right? We had a really move off the low. We had that untapped monthly at the time. We had an untapped weekly, which was also a gold pocket from that high to low, right? So we front ran it here. We had a random, news day was, I guess the whatever. There was some news that day as well, right? That everybody kind of put this pump on, but at the end of the day, all this was when you came up and you took the high, right into a key level, right into key resistance. Yesterday we kind of saw something similar, right? So while Bitcoin's pushed up like 30%, we had this huge wick down, taking out, all these lows right here. It didn't take out necessarily everything, but it was an interesting one. And generally when you see a wick like that, right, you get a nice little move up. So we'll be looking to see what we do here. This was a really nice off the low to the high, right? Retracement right into that gold pocket, right into the middle of the range. So that was a really nice move there. And then I'm looking to see if we continue onward and upward here, right? So a little trend-based fib pull. Let's just see what she looks like. Gold pocket takes us back up to that weekly. We've got the 1-to-1 comes in at like 85 cents. But I'd really be looking to see if we come up and we take this high, challenge up into the yearly pivot, so the yearly target, and then one of our high time frame gold pockets. So that's what I'd be looking for. That'd be a pretty big move out of XRP, and if it happens fast, yeah, I'd probably imagine that we go down just as fast once again. But we'll see, right? So everything's manageable, and we'll be taking it step by step. So hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll be trying to put out some updates daily. Shout out to BingX once again, exchange of choice, at least from me, ever since everything with FTX and Bybit and KYC, KuCoin, it's tough to find an exchange that basically can handle. I stress test them. Essentially, I went through almost every exchange. One of the biggest pains is when there's volatility in the market and the exchange freezes. And you can't get into access either your funds or make trades. BingX has been really great. The liquidity is great. They have a ton of spot opportunities as well, very similar to KuCoin and other just spot exchanges. You don't have to just trade leverage in here. I don't even recommend trading leverage, but yeah, you can come in here and then also you can trade against Tether. You can trade your Tether against stock pairs as well. So you can trade stocks, crypto, futures, and spot all in one place. So if you're interested, check it out. There's a link in the description below. If you're interested in joining Leading Crypto Discord server, where you have access to all my analysis, Magic Internet Money and Max, who have just been absolutely killing it with Bitcoin. I mean, everything Magic puts out is usually gold. Doesn't always just do Bitcoin. Max has been killing it on some altcoins as well. Order flow and open interest. I mean, the kid is just he's an absolute stud. So if you're interested in joining that, we are offering a 1 week free trial. So you can come in, you can access our academy. We have 9 hours, over 9 hours of educational content there, kind of going over all the tools and the resources that we use daily. So you can come in and kind of get an understanding of what we're talking about, what we're looking for, and why. Then you have access to everything else as well. So if you find that it's not for you within the 7 days, and just cancel before you get charged, no hard feelings. Other than that, I will see you all in the next video.